Hey y'all, how are ya? So it is Amy with Bargain Mama again, and today is Friday, and if you can see me through my steering wheel here, yeah, so today is Friday, and it is like motivational Friday. I had stopped it last week. I wasn't feeling very good. I am feeling much better, not 100%, but much better, and all we can ask for is a little better, or if not, at least not worse. So anyways, you know, like I had kind of been like, okay, I think I'll talk about this Friday. And then, my son, who's 20, who I have, said stuff about before. Sorry guys, if you're like, wait, where'd her eyebrows go? Like, there's none on here right now because I jumped out of the shower and ran to the store. So today's Friday, and normally I'm at work on Fridays, but I'm not at work today because, you know, we all need a mental health day. So I decided to trade today for tomorrow, and just to kind of, I guess, relax from the week and from not feeling good for the past 2 weeks. So not only when I stress is it bad on everyone, but on top of that, I have lupus. And so, it's just been a kicker for me, and everyone has their situations and their problems, but, so anyways, I was like, there's so much I could do for an inspirational Friday. But again, I feel like stuff just falls into your lap. So my 20-year-old that I have previously told you guys about that ran into some issues and is just doing amazing. On Tuesday, we did our normal drop-off. I dropped him off at his friend's to go to the gym and then to go to work. And it kind of started out as a weird day, but I just thought, oh, well, you know, we all have an off day. He was kind of rude on the way, and normally I would say something, but this day I was just like, I'm just gonna ignore it. He's always complaining about my driving, always, and I'm like, well, if you got a license, you wouldn't have to worry about my driving. But anyways, usually I'll argue with him, which I shouldn't, but it just gets frustrating. But this day I did not, and I am so thankful that I didn't. So I got to work like I normally do, and he, about a half hour after getting to work, I got a message from him that said, hey mama, I'm really sorry that I was rude today in the car and mean. I hope I didn't ruin your day. I have a lot on my mind. And so I was like, oh, okay, that was really sweet. So I continue to see my patients and I'm just going along. And then all of a sudden my phone goes off again and starts going off a lot. And it's my son. And he is messaging me just pretty emotional stuff. I can't do this anymore, all this stuff. And I'm like, wait, what just happened? And he's like, I'm breaking down, I can't do it. Mind you, he's been out of jail, I think since July, August, September, October. So we are on 3 months now, and he's doing amazing. We don't really talk a whole lot about exactly what kind of illegal substances he was doing prior to jail, or if any. I mean, I don't know, but we don't really talk about it. We kind of just push forward with the future and see how we're doing. Well, on this day, he was just really having a breakdown, and thank goodness my job is extremely lenient. So I was like, something in me told me, like, my son needs me right now. So I said, hey, do you need me to pick you up? And he's like, I'm really sorry, mama. And just so you guys know, it does just pull at my heartstrings. He does have me in his phone under mama. He does call me mama. Like, yeah, like, it just, yes, I absolutely adore my kids. And we all have good and bad times, you know, I mean. So anyways, he said, I'm really sorry, mama, but if you could, that would be great. And so I said, okay, like, so I tell my boss, hey, I'm gonna have to get off, something's going on with my son. And she said, that's fine, no problem. So I asked him where he's at. And you guys, he was extremely far from where I dropped him off. And again, he doesn't have a license or a car. So I said, how'd you get there? And he said, after you dropped me off, I got on the bus and I just drove around on the bus and kept thinking and thinking and thinking, and things just got worse and worse. And mind you, when I picked up my son, it was from a mall here in town. That's just where he got off the bus at. He was, again, he's 20, and he's not, it's nothing's wrong with showing your emotions, but my son is not very good at it unless it's anger emotions. he was bawling, like, and he's not a loud crier, but when he got in, he was looking out the window, and I just noticed, like, literally water was coming from his face, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, what is going on? And so this whole time, I have been texting this son and my 19-year-old. I text my kids a lot if I'm at work or something, because we have extremely busy lives. And so I do text my kids often just to tell them, hey, I'm really proud of you. You're doing great. Keep it up. My 19-year-old that's in LA, I text him all the time. Like, I can't believe how good you're doing and how independent you are. I love you. You know, my youngest son, I'm like, hey, like, you're doing so great. You know, I'm so proud that you go play basketball all the time with your friends. I just text all of my kids that. I try to do it at least like once a week, because no matter what, sometimes we just need to hear that. Sometimes we need to hear that somebody is proud of what we're doing. Even if we know we are, we just need that sometimes. So anyways, I've been texting him that, texting all my kids. I do it all the time. And he was just bawling, and I said, what is going on? So I'm rubbing his back, you know, and my son, he will lay up and cuddle with me. We will all watch movies together in my bed, and my bed gets smaller and smaller when you add all the dogs we have and all the humans to it. But he's just not a big, when he's emotional, he's not a big hugger or anything. So I'm rubbing his back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And then I said, do you want me to hug you? And he said, no. Oh, okay. You know, just let me know what you need. So anyways, we sat in the mall parking lot for a long time and just talked, and it opened my eyes to a lot, you guys. So I'm over here telling him, you're doing amazing, good job, I'm so proud of you. And he was like, Mom, I really appreciate all the things you're saying, but I feel like I do everything to make everyone else happy right now, to make sure that they think I'm doing good, and not to make sure that I know I'm doing good and I'm happy. And I'm gonna start crying, because I thought all along I was doing good sending these text messages, which he said he does love, but he's, you know, I mean, he was like, I'm not happy. And one of the things that my son did say that got to me, that I had never even realized, or was two things that will stick in my mind forever. One, he said, Mom, I don't know how to deal with my emotions sober. I've never had to do that. And it did not, I'm getting goosebumps. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, again, I've never talked about what my son was previously on. I know some stuff that was happening. It's just something that we choose to kind of block out of our lives. We all have a dark place. And it's made him who he is today. Again, no matter what happened in the past, you don't have to talk about it, but it still makes you who you are today. And I truly believe that my son would not be the strong person he is, and that would not be where he is in life, if he would not have gone through this and gone to jail. Honestly, 100%. Like, it was the hardest moments of my life, and I'm sure for him, but there's no way that he would be where he's at right now. It just, so anyways, he said, sorry guys. So he said, I've never had to deal with my emotions sober, and I don't know how to do it. And I was like, oh wow, like I've always dealt with my emotions sober. I didn't realize that was a thing. So, you know, we kind of talked about that a little bit. And then he said, I feel so angry at the two friends that I do have, because when they go do things, I get angry at them. And he's like, I know I shouldn't, but I do, because I can't go do those things. And he said, Mom, think about it. I don't have any friends since being out of jail. And I thought about it, and my child hung out with, you know, maybe not the greatest of influences, so he has chosen to stay away from them. And he does not have a license, and his curfew is he has to be in home by 9 p.m. So he literally gets up at 6 a.m., goes to his first job, gets off at 3, runs home, showers, goes to his second job at 4, and gets off from there at 11, and walks home and goes to bed. Now, I know I said his curfew is 9. If he's at work, he's allowed to be out past 9. But on a normal night, if he's just hanging out or whatever, he has to be in the house by 9. So it didn't dawn on me, you know. I was like, what do you mean? You had a lot of friends? And he's like, yeah, before. And I'm gonna start crying again, because he's such a social person. And it just broke my heart, because those are two things I never realized. He looks like he is happy every single day. We talk, we do all this stuff, and he is happy, but he just didn't know, like, it's just been getting to him and getting to him, and it just broke my heart. Like, you know, I've never dealt with my emotions sober, and I don't know how to. That was hard. Of course, we called his counselor right away and made an appointment. He absolutely loves his counselor. It's the best counselor in the world. I love this guy. Him and my son connected. It took us a long time to find this counselor. I will probably follow him out of state if he moves. But anyways, it really took a lot to open my eyes and to see what my son was going through. And again, when he said, I don't have any friends, it didn't dawn on me. You know, I mean, he's gone all the time, right? He's having fun. No, he's at work all the time. So it really was an eye-opener for both of us. And to be honest, that day, we both realized that we needed to change a lot of things. I said, when are you off probation? And he said, I don't know. I don't even know when I started. And you know, I think I've said this before, you guys, but I feel like everybody needs an end date. So it's the things like, well, you have to wear masks. Everybody gets mad. I get mad because I'm like, it's horrible. I hate wearing this mask, all this stuff, right? But I feel like if they said, okay, you guys have to wear your mask for the next 60 days. I feel like there's an end sight. You know what I mean? So, you know, 60 days. I only have to do it for 60 days. Like, you know, when I do some of my non-sugar fasting, which I'll be doing on November 1st again, don't think I don't get a calendar and write those days down, because me and sugar are best friends. So I get a calendar, and it keeps me motivated to go, to know how many more days I have left and how many days I've achieved. So with that being said, I asked my son, when is your last day of probation? And he said, I don't know. I don't even know when I started. So of course I was like, okay, let's go get a calendar. So, you know, we went to my favorite place, the Dollar Tree, and we got a calendar. And I believe it's like April 14th is when he's off. So I put these big old stars on it, and I counted backwards so that there's a small little countdown going for him. And then I put like little dates in between of special things that we are going to go do. We're gonna get him a pass to go see his brother in LA. We're going to try to get him out more to do fun things instead of just work home. So we did that, which it helped so much. So the next day my son comes home, and so he said, I'm gonna hang it right here, the calendar right here by my shoe shelf. Yeah, he has a shelf for his shoes, guys, him and my husband. So he said, I'm gonna hang it right here by my shoe shelf. And I was like, okay. And he's like, so I can see it every day. So the next day he is in there, and again, my child is 20, you know, he's not little. And he said, Mom, today is the first day I got to mark a day off on my calendar. Like, it was just so much excitement in him to mark a day off on his calendar. So even being a therapist, this is what we do. You have to set short-term goals to make it to your long-term goals. So again, I think I say this in every one of my videos, and I'm sorry if I sound like repetitive, but you have to crawl before you walk. So my son was just thinking like, I'm never going to be off probation, all this stuff. Whereas now he has a number. It's a lot of numbers. It's like 170 something days. I don't even know. But there is a number with a light at the end of the tunnel. And that really, guys, is what he needed. He needed that. I mean, we did some other stuff too. We've implemented a couple more things in our family. We've done a couple of things. But in general, I feel like the calendar was the biggest saving grace for my child. Like an end in sight. So some people who have cancer, you know, I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible. You know, and they say, okay, so you're going to go through this many rounds of chemo. You will be done by this date. Doesn't mean you're going to be healed by that date, unfortunately. It just means that you will be done with chemo on that date. So you set little short-term goals for yourself during that time frame. So this is when my chemo is done. So then count backwards and just put little things. Even just little things like, I'm gonna go for a walk in the mountains. Sometimes when we have chemo and we have issues, we have an extremely hard time getting any energy together, or we just hit such a depression, we don't wanna go anywhere. So just a little thing like, I'm gonna go for a walk in the mountain this day, and hold to it. Like, you cannot break the calendar. So like the dates that I put in there, I assured with my, sorry guys, I think I cut out a little, but I just wanted to finish real quick. So when we wrote the dates in the calendar, like LA this weekend, I assured them with my husband first, are we able to do these? Because I do not want to let him down. He is looking forward to these little things. And we want to go see my son anyways. So why not, you know, unfortunately, it's not as easy. He does work, you know, nights at a restaurant, so he has to take the time off. So then he, you know, that's a mess. And then he does have to get permission from his probation officer, all this stuff. But that's why we set them out. And so we gave his probation officer a copy of our calendar, and we said, is this going to work for you? Because not only does my son need to be on probation, he needs his mental health also there when he does get off of probation. And so he said, yes, like, you know, that's fine, as long, you know, we have certain things we have to do to let my son be able to go, but, you know, we will do them all. So I guess I'm just trying to say, like, just short-term goals to meet your long-term goal. And then there's one other thing. So when my son was waiting at the mall for me, my son during the day, he does painting, construction, he works for this company that just kind of does contracting work. So he had on, like, my son dresses weird to begin with, but his clothes had paint and stuff on them because he was going to work. So when he got off the bus at the mall, I'm sure he probably didn't look like somebody that was going to be shopping at the mall. So when he was out there, and he also carries a backpack because, again, my son does not have a car, and he changes from his gym clothes to his work clothes to keeping his headphones, all this stuff in his backpack. It doesn't matter. If he wants to carry a backpack, he can carry a backpack. What happened, guys? So my son is already emotional, already just having a horrible day, right? When he gets to the mall, the security guard comes up to him outside of the mall and says, move it along. We don't allow homeless here. First of all, if my son were homeless, that doesn't give you the right to talk to him like that or to anyone like that. That moment, that officer or whatever he is, had the opportunity to make or break somebody's day. Like, that was the perfect opportunity to walk up to somebody and said, hey bud, what's going on? Like, what are you doing over here? My son would have told him. He didn't. He just assumed my son was homeless and told him to move it along. And so one of the things when my son was crying is he said, Mom, and I'm not homeless. And I said, I know, what are you talking about? And he told me what happened. And so I did call, and I wasn't calling like the Karen. I called because I told the manager of the security department or whatever that works there, I said, this is a learning opportunity. I said, this could have pushed a 20-year-old who was already on the edge over the edge. This could have pushed anyone over the edge. Like, that 2-second interaction between my son and this officer could have gone a totally different way, which could have made my son's time while he was waiting for me go a little bit better. So I just want you guys to remember that when you see someone. You never know what their backstory is, and you never know what they have been through. And so I just, like I said, I told his boss, I said, you know, I just want this to be a learning opportunity, because thank God I was able to get off and to get my son. But if I wouldn't have, like, I don't know what would have happened after, you know, just everything building up and then this guy saying that to my son. So anyways, I just want you guys to remember, I smile all the time. Like, I don't know if you guys see this, like, I'm always smiling. I have the fattest cheeks, I always smile. With masks on, sometimes we can't tell, but I mean, you can tell it in your eyes and stuff, and you can even say hi to someone. Just walk by them and say hi. Just please remember that, because we always have that opportunity to help somebody's day just by saying hi. We never know what they're about to do in the next half hour, 5 minutes. So just keep that in mind. Even if you're having a bad day, you know, maybe if you say hi to someone else, then they'll say hi to you, and then it'll just trickle maybe into a great conversation, and then it'll make your day better. You never know. So anyways, yeah, I just want to, sorry, my son is walking up here. He just went to Dunkin' Donuts. My youngest son, my 15-year-old, he walked over to Dunkin' Donuts. And he's walking back now, and I didn't notice him, and he's waving. So anyways, so yes, please just remember that, and I hope everyone is gonna have a great weekend. And I have a huge Dollar General haul, so I will talk to you guys later. Bye.